What if the key to managing your body isn't a workout or willpower, but something much simpler? Many people overlook this very simple first step that can shift how your body feels every day. In this video, I'll reveal a mindset reframe and a muscle activation trick that'll have you feeling better faster than you know it. Hey everyone, I'm Chrissy Williford. I'm known as the pain-free miracle worker because after 8 years of dealing with my own chronic pain, I finally found the answers I had been looking for when doctors and therapists couldn't. Now, I help men and women just like you eliminate their pain, tone their body, and get stronger so they can love the way they look and feel. So let's get into it. In my own journey, the biggest aha moment was really learning about how important our brain to body communication is and the surprising role that our brain plays in your physical pain. And so here's what I mean by that. Your brain is like the computer of your body. For example, I always compare it to an actual computer. So you type on a keyboard and the computer computes your keystrokes and puts it out on a Word document or whatever you're creating. When we type on the keyboard, we're telling the computer what to do, and then it basically computes it onto the Word document. In life, we receive information, and we do that visually, vestibularly, through touch and feel. So we receive information, our brain computes it, and then the output, the words on the Word document, is our movement or our organ function or something physiological that we do that our brain operates. Many things that we do we're unaware of. Blinking is something that you just do unconsciously because you've done it since you were a baby. Moving now as an adult, you don't have to think about, but if you've had kids or seen children as they develop, they think a lot about what they're doing, especially when they're learning to walk. They'll hold on to something to stabilize themselves, and they think about taking that first step. And so their brain is processing their movement before they do it. But in adulthood, we just move and do. With our brain, if its first order of business is keeping you alive, it's survival. So at any point, if our brain perceives threat, so that could be someone attacking you or a dog coming after you or you fall down or lots of different things. So your brain perceives the threat, which means it disrupts the output of things. So when you have chronic threat, then at some point your brain is going to just shut you down because it's thinking, this is so much threat, I need to keep this person alive. Let's just shut them down so they stop doing it. So, for example, if you are moving and there's something going on that your brain doesn't like, then your brain decides, oh, this is too threatening. We need to kick into survival mode and let's save this person. And so it'll do things within your body that, let's say, cause pain or make you feel bad. And then you'll stop doing that. That's your brain protecting you. Like, we're supposed to have that, and it is a great thing, except that today we're not like running from bears we're not out in the primal state running from bears. But our body and our brain doesn't know that because threat is threat to us, to our brain. So your brain is actually trying to protect you in doing that. It can be pain, it can be some physiological something, it can be an injury, and it can be lots of things. But know that your brain is trying to protect you by doing that. And the beautiful thing about it is if your brain is doing that to protect you, as long as your brain feels safe, then you can reverse out of that. You can recover whatever has happened in your body because it was created as a protective mechanism. So what that means is if we reduce the threat of that, would your brain calm down and be like, oh, we're safe now. You can go run and play and jump and hop around and do whatever you want to. Well, yeah, it does. Here's where the mindset reframe comes in. When we have chronic pain, discomfort, acute pain, doesn't matter, okay? We don't feel good. We get to a place to where we have fear of moving around. It's normal because your brain wants to keep you safe. And you know where you're the safest? On the couch, watching TV, eating a ho-ho and bonbon, not doing anything. Your brain feels very safe there. And so even just to get up and go to use the restroom, it's like, oh, it's this big effort. Well, the thing is that you get to a place to when you've done that enough, you get to a place to where you fear movement. And our brain tells us, oh, if you do that, it's going to make you worse. Sometimes we say that, oh, if you do that, it's going to make you worse. I've been there. I have 100% been there to where like, oh, can't do that. Too risky. Like your brain does that. It is a safety mechanism. It is a great thing that we have in our brain. But also we get to recognize when we may be under undue threat some kind of way, and our brain may be trying to keep us alive. But there are also things that we can do to reverse that, to not fear movement, to be able to enjoy our life again. All of those things come into play here because the fear also keeps you stuck, because fear in itself is threat. So if you fear a movement and you continue to do that movement, your body is not going to give you the output that you want it to. Your body is going to give you some skewed kind of output that may cause more pain or injury. That could happen. So when I'm coaching people and working with clients and I'm having them do an exercise, I can immediately tell if they have fear about doing that. Immediately. It's on their face. And I'll ask them, hey, what's going on? Hey, do you have fear about this? And actually, in the very beginning, I tell them, if you have fear, we get to work through that. And it doesn't matter what that looks like. I don't take it personal. We get to help your body feel safe so that you can do this exercise so that we get this result. And they're okay with it. But it is a coaching moment to where I have to say, hey, if you have fear, we're not going to judge ourselves about that, but we do get to work through it. So any kind of threat is going to give you a different output or make your body move differently, or maybe it gives you more pain or a new pain because your brain's under threat and it's like, ooh, don't do that. Ooh, danger, 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 don't do that. And it'll do whatever to keep you from doing it. So know that fear is normal. I even had a client one time, he had seen 2 trainers before he started working out with me, both of which hurt him and made his body feel worse and or gave him new pain or whatever. So he not only had fear about doing the exercises I was asking him to do, he had fear about working with a personal trainer because he didn't trust them, because 2 of them had injured him because they just made him do all this stuff that his body couldn't really handle, and he ended up injured. So it took, I'm not kidding, 3 to 6 months of working with him before he really trusted me. And there was a lot of working through fear and a lot of coaching with him and a lot of, hey, if you don't feel safe, let's not do it. And reassuring him that it was okay for him to do these things in this modified way that we had created that felt safe for his body. So fear is normal. The thing that I want you to remember about it is that you can move past it. It very much, if you're exercising, it very much requires to move in a different way. That means to modify the exercises. And once you modify them, you're going to stay there for a few weeks and do them, and then you'll be able to advance them. If you're not exercising, you should start exercising. Because when you have pain, that one of the best ways to get out of that is to move your body in patterns of movement that support your pain point. So for example, if you have knee pain, you should be focusing on developing your butt, making your butt muscles work. Sitting around on your butt doesn't do that. It actually shuts them down. So how are you going to do that? There are some very safe ground-based exercises that you could do. But moving your body helps your nervous system feel safer moving than not moving. And so If you're not moving, start moving in a way that feels good for you, because that's going to help you not only get over the fear, but it's going to help your body feel better, activate your muscles, help you feel stronger in your movements, and those kinds of things. I'm going to give you a quick technique that you can use. Anyone can do this, and it's a muscle activation technique that I use. A lot of times it'll just help your pain dissolve depending on what's going on. It's to activate your diaphragm, which is your breathing muscle. Okay, so it sits, you can't see that, down up under here, up under your ribs. So my ribs come together right here. So the diaphragm sits up under there in your rib cage. Your breathing system is a cylinder, so the diaphragm is one of the muscles that's involved. A lot of times your breathing mechanism will shut down, your system will shut down, the diaphragm shuts off, so you can't breathe very well because it's not working. And that'll create pain in your body. Like I've seen someone, their knee pain went away because we activated their diaphragm because they just weren't breathing well. So the first thing you'll do is take a big deep inhale. And I want you to notice, do you breathe up into your shoulders? Do you keep your breath here in your chest? Do you breathe into your lungs? Do you breathe into your belly? Like, where is your breath going? Because you should be breathing not up here, but into the rest of the cylinder that's your breathing system. So take a deep breath in, exhale out. That's a test to see how much you're actually getting in, how much is going in. And then the trick is to like rub your sternum. Your sternum's your breastbone, and then it goes from here where there's this U, from here down into where your ribs split. So it's that whole line. I'm not really going to rub mine because my mic, it'll sound weird, but you can rub with your fingertips. I like to take my finger and do a hook and then lock it in here, wrap it around, and then use this flat part right here. And then rub it here. So you're going to go up here all the way down, all the way down in between. Okay, all the way up and down, and then you can go back and forth across it. Whatever feels good to you. If you haven't ever done it, it might make your fingers feel a little bit tired. Just do what you can do. It may be sore. If it's very sore, be gentle. So I want you to do that for a minute, and then you're going to rest, and then you're going to inhale, exhale again. What you should find is that on the second inhale, exhale, you're able to breathe more in and get more breathing capacity. And then that helps you feel better. One of the fuel sources that our brain runs off of is oxygen. If your breathing system is not working very well, you're not getting oxygen in. And enhancing that, where you're able to get more air in, more oxygen in, is going to help your brain feel less threatened and calm down some of maybe the pain points that you have in your body. So I like to do it all the time, especially if I'm going to be working out. But a lot of times I'll just do it throughout the day. If I'm feeling stressed or like my body's feeling weird, I'll just activate my diaphragm. And a lot of times it helps you feel better. So try that and let me know in the comments if it helped you feel better, if you noticed a pain or an ache that you had that went away. And if if you felt like you got a bigger breath on the second one, I'd love to know. I love it. It's a great trick. I call them tricks. It's a great, because they're very unique ways to improve how you feel. So I just call them tricks. And so it's a great trick and a tool to have in your toolkit. So the last thing that I'll share with you is one of the big shifts for me was going from pain control to body control. And it's very easy because we're kind of taught this, or maybe it's learned experience or whatever. It's easy to be in pain control. And pain control is like reverse. Okay, so it's like we have pain, let's just band-aid that. And instead, if you're in a body control mindset, it's like, what can we do with your body that makes the pain that you feel just dissolve itself or resolve to some degree? So there are a lot of things that you can do, and it starts with you. Like, first of all, you get to be responsible for how you feel and your health and your well-being and your fitness. That is a you thing, and no one can do that for you. There are so many people I've worked with in my career where I wanted it so much more than them, and at the end of the day, I couldn't help them because they didn't want it for themselves. So you get to want it for yourself, and you get to be responsible for that. And that's largely like a large part of the work that I do with people is helping them take responsibility for it. Because can you move your body in a way that feels good to you? Yes. Can you eat good, solid, nutritional food? Yes. Can you make sure that you're sleeping enough? Yes. Can you drink enough water? Yes. Can you improve your environment, your lifestyle, your relationships? Yes, you can do all of those things. And it is very overwhelming to do them all at once, but you can start with one. I would recommend that you pick one and you start there and you work on that. And then once that becomes a habit, which takes maybe 30 days, once it becomes a habit, then do something else on top of that. There are little ways that you can integrate a healthier lifestyle and moving your body in a good way into your current life that will very slowly pivot and shift you over here to where you're actually feeling better. So you do have control of your body. I know many times it feels like that you don't. Been there too. But you do have control over your body. You do get to make the decisions of what you do with yourself. And you do get to choose to be consistent in that and to move yourself forward. A lot of this is doing deep internal personal self-development work, but it's also lifestyle and behaviors. And you have control of a lot of that. And so it doesn't mean it's not challenging, but it does mean that you can do it. So if you're wanting to take back control of your life and you're looking for smarter, faster ways to get there, make sure that you subscribe and share this with a friend, somebody who may be experiencing the same thing as you or something similar, so they can do the same thing too. See you on the next one.